Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Amanda, and today we're going to be chatting through all the books I'd like to read in the month of August. August has actually turned out to be a really busy month because I'm actually participating in the Magical Readathon for the very first time, and I'm just noticing my shirt actually says August on it, Hot August Nights. It's a car show thing my parents love. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I was able to catch up in the Magical Readathon and do my spring equinox requirements in July. So I am fully prepared and ready to complete my novice certification in Feywild cardiography, which I'm so excited about. I created a character and I'm just obsessed with this readathon. Like, I have not been so obsessed about something in a very long time, and I kind of need that for myself. Like, I need to be fully invested and obsessed with something to just keep my sanity. So we're loving that. Like, books are definitely my obsession, but like, I like to have an obsession alongside books, and Magical Readathon is my new obsession because it's so cool. For the month of August, I will be participating. So I did already film me going through the books and the prompts and everything, and I kind of dressed up as my character a little bit. So I will leave past me to go through those prompts, and then I will come back here and talk about any other books that I would like to read. Without further ado, let's get into the books that I would like to read for Magical Readathon. So I am currently dressed as my character, Adelenda, House of the Arcane, and currently pursuing Fey cardiography as my calling. For the Feywild cardiography calling, I need to complete a O in Elemental Studies, an O in Animal Studies, an O in Astronomy, an O in Alchemy, a Q in Inscription, and an O in Demonology. So let's go through each of the prompts and talk about them and create a list of books that I need to read for the readathon. I am honestly so excited to be participating in the Magical Readathon. I have been waiting to join until I was out of college because it was just way too crazy for me to join while I was in school. So I'm just like fully embracing the readathon. As you could tell, like, I'm just feeling so magical and just like, this is such a cool readathon. So I don't know if this would be of any interest to anybody, but I would love to include some clips in the vlogs that I will have for Magical Readathon of like me dressed in character, like being outside, going on like nature walks, and just like almost like role playing in my vlogs. Like, I don't know if that would all be interesting, but I just think that would be really fun and just really immerse myself into the readathon completely because I'm obsessed with this readathon, and I just think that would be super fun. And also, I made this headband with antlers. So without further ado, let's get into the TBR. So for Elemental Studies, for an O, I need to read a book with the word Earth in the title, which is honestly a really difficult prompt. So I'm going to poke around my shelves for a little bit. I may take this headband off, but we'll see. So I'm gonna poke around my shelves and I will come back to you all and we'll see what I can find. So for this prompt, I have decided to go with A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Littlebadger, I believe. So this is a book that I have on KU, so I'm gonna read it on my Kindle. I completely forgot about this book. Like, I actually had to Google a book that starts with Earth because I tried my to be read pile. I did not have one, so I just searched on Storygraph and found that book, which is perfect. So that is gonna be my book for that prompt. Next up is Animal Studies, which I need an O, which is Introduction to Domestic Creatures. So for that, I need to do Pet Pick. So I do have two cats who are around here somewhere. They were so confused as to what I was doing with these antlers. They're like, what are you up to? So let me try to find them. I will grab 2 or 3 books that I want to read and we'll see what they pick. Okay, I have my 2 books. I chose Fourth Wing and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, both of which I am absolutely dying to read. So let me do some cat calling and see if I can get them to come over. All right, I found Halili. So, all right, pick a book. You're sniffing Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow a lot. Are you gonna go with that one? Okay, well, she rubbed her cheeks on Fourth Wing. Did you pick Fourth Wing? All right. Touch it again. Oh, kitten. All right, come on. You've already touched. Okay, you've touched 2 books, so we're gonna set you free again. Right, she went for tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow again. I'm going to take that to mean that she has picked tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, which I am super excited about. I have been wanting to read this book since like everybody's been talking about it, and I'm really excited to get to this one. So, don't know much about it. I know there's something about like a video game or something, and everyone's just like obsessed with this book, so I want to read it for myself and experience it. The next class is astronomy, so I need to get an O in Moonsong Ritual, and for that I need to read a book with a word in the title from the name of the last song you listened to. So let me grab my phone because I don't know. I haven't listened to much music lately, so let's see what's on my phone. So on Spotify, it is Who Do You Love, apparently, is the last song I listened to. My camera is not cooperating. Could you see that? Holly just like destroyed everything for a minute, but it's fine. She was like chewing on my journal and then she was chewing on my hair stuff, and it was just chaos for like a minute. So anyways, the song was Who Do You Love? So I think I have a book in mind, so let me grab it really quick. Okay, I'm gonna take off the antlers for a few minutes because it's just a little difficult to try to be doing this and keep track of those. So for that prompt, I found She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, which I've been wanting to read for a really long time. So this is a perfect opportunity to finally read this book. This is like the only book that has any of those words in the title. So exciting, I finally get to read this book. Next up is alchemy, and for that I need to get an O, which is stone to copper, and for that I need to read a first book in a series. I'm going to go with Isola Volume 1 because this is the first volume in the series. I've had this for a really long time. I honestly don't know much about it. I believe it's like fantasy sci-fi, and I just think it'd be good for me to have like a comic and some smaller reads on my TBR, so I'm not completely overwhelmed, especially because this is my first semester at Aurelium, so I don't want to completely like burn myself out. So really excited to get to this one. I don't know what it's about really, like I said, but I look forward to reading it. Next up is Inscription, and for that I need an Q to pass. So for O, I need to read a book from your end of year TBR. I never made an end of year TBR, to be honest, but I can go back and see what was on my TBR at like the beginning of the year because I do keep track of all my TBRs on Notion. So one of the books that was on my TBR in January was Lightbringer by Claire LeCran, which is the third book in the Furyborn series. And just to prove that I'm not lying to y'all, it's right here. So you can see right there, it was on my January TBR. I just never got around to reading it for whatever reason. So now is the perfect opportunity to do so. I have the audiobook for this series, which I really like the audiobooks, so I'll just listen to this and it'll be a great time. Next up in Inscription is Q, which is Words and Shields, and for that I need to read a book with a shield on the cover or a shield in the title. I think this is literally the only book on my shelf with a shield on the cover, and that is We All Fall Down by Rose Sabo. I think there's a lot of mixed reviews and conversations going on about this book when it first came out. I can't quite remember what they were, but I know there's a lot of controversy, but I still kind of want to read it. I don't know much about it. I believe it's like a group of teenagers are trying to like save the world or whatever, and it sounds interesting. So we'll just read it. We'll find out as I go, but this is like the only book. And the final class I need to pass to become a novice in Feywild cartography is demonology class. And for that I need to pass Introduction to Low-Level Demons, and that is to read a first book you see on Instagram or Goodreads. That is fun. So I am gonna use Goodreads, which I don't really use Goodreads much. Like I only use it for my book club, but we'll go on there. Let me screen record as well so I could just pop it in here. So we will go to Goodreads, and I'm going to pick the first book that I see that I own for me personally, because I don't want to pick a book that I don't own, because that's like my goal. So I've already read Empire of Gold. I've read Six of Crows. Sleeping Giants was great. Yeah, I'm not seeing much. on here. It's just a bunch of books I've already read or don't own. I was kind of hoping like Fourth Wing would pop up or something because that would be perfect, but I'm not seeing anything. So I guess we'll just keep scrolling. You know, this doesn't turn up. Okay, I did see House of Roots and Ruin, but that's not coming out for a while, so we're gonna wait on that. Oh my gosh, this is like not working. Okay, I think we're gonna switch to Instagram because this isn't working. So let's go to Instagram. So we're just gonna scroll and scroll and apparently keep scrolling and still scrolling. Wow, why is this so difficult? I want pictures. Like, I don't want to see all of these. Okay, I'm specifically looking at people that I follow. So let's see if that helps. Ooh, okay, here's a stack of books. I see River Enchanted, Little Thieves. I own almost all of these books. The first book I see on here, which would be perfect to read, is A River Enchanted, and I actually have that same edition, which is great. So I'm gonna pick this. That was a really difficult prompt, which I really feel like it shouldn't have been, but this is exciting. This is one of my quarterly TBR books that I need to read for Word Search TBR, so might as well put it on August TBR. So these are all the books that I need to read to pass this semester of Aurelium Academy as a Feywild cardiographer. That word is so hard for me to say. So this is the TBR. I'm really excited, but I will let current me get back to talking about the rest of the books that I would like to read for August. Alrighty, hopefully past me was succinct and made sense and was not just a big chaotic ball of mess, which is just me in general. So with those books out of the way, I do want to mention 2 more books for Magical Readathon that I don't believe I mentioned because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for those prompts, but there is supplements and opportunities in Autumn Equinox that you can go for that will just be like bonus basically. So it's officially called Supplementary Qualifications and Opportunities. So there's a couple different things you can do. So one of them is to be a bog cataloger. So read a book by the water or with a body of water on the cover. So for that, I think I would read A River Enchanted because it has a river on the cover, which I would show you, but you're currently sitting on it as a tripod. So you're just not going to see that, but you've seen it previously in the video. And then there's also watch an animal documentary as part of that as well, which I would just pick randomly and do that. Next up is Apothecary Keeper, which is read 2 books with flowers on the cover. So A River Enchanted and We All Fall Down will also fit for that as well. The dragon riding license, I actually have books for this. So the prompt is to read 2 books with dragons. So in the month of July, I will hopefully be reading Aragon because I'm starting my reread of the series in honor of Murtagh coming out in November. So I will hopefully have Aragon read by July or early August. So I would also like to start and finish Eldest, which is the 2nd book in the series and obviously is all about dragons. And then I would like to read the infamous book Fourth Wing that everybody's hating or loving. So I do want to read this because I'm dying of curiosity to see why everyone is obsessed with this book and how like 350,000 copies of this book like went out of print. Like that is just insane. Like that was the first printing of this book and they had to do a second one. Like that's just crazy. So I really want to read this and like find out what's happening, and I will let you know if I read it. Hopefully I will, because this is just like supplementary, so I may not read these. Hopefully this one, but maybe not. We'll just see. And then along with the dragon riding license, we have watch a movie or show with a dragon in it, and I'm hoping to watch the Aragon movie because I've never watched it, but I've heard terrible things about it, saying it's like terrible, and I really want to watch it for myself. I bought it at a garage sale for like $1, so that would just be a fun little movie night thing for August, so we'll just see, but hopefully I'll get around to that one. And really the only other book on my TBR besides the books I've already talked to you all about for Magical Readathon is my in-person book club and a read-along I'm doing. So the in-person book club, we are reading The Chemist, which is by whatever her name is who wrote Twilight, Stephanie Meyer. There we go. So we're reading this. I don't have a clue about it. I just bought the ebook and borrowed the audiobook from the library, and we're just gonna see how it goes. Don't know what to expect. I truly don't. So I'll just tell you about it in a wrap-up or in a vlog. We'll just see what happens. But I do need to read that because we have a book club the, I think, 3rd week of August this month because of how things work out with us. But that'll be interesting to say the least. And it's really long. So unfortunately, I couldn't get it to fit any prompts for Magical Readathon, which is unfortunate. But I do need to get that read as well. And then I read The Silvered Serpents in July, so I would really like to read The Bronzed Beast by Roshani Chokshi, which is the 3rd and final book in the Gilded Wolf series. I read book 1 like a couple years ago and then never continued, so I reread book 1 in June. I read book 2 in July. I'd really like to read book 3 in August to just finish this series out. And I do have the audiobooks for this series. I bought them all off Libro FM and they're just great. Like, the audiobooks are so good and I can fly through them, so hopefully I can get a chance to listen to this one. Looking at my spreadsheet on Notion, a lot of the books I have to read for this month I can get audiobooks for from either Scribd, Libro, or my library, so I'm hoping to utilize audiobooks as much as possible because that's my favorite way of reading, because I can do so much while getting reading done, and that'll just be great. So that's basically my TBR. It's kind of nice. I didn't have to talk too much past me, kind of already did all that. So that was really nice. And I also don't have a word search TBR to film this month, which I love those, I do, but oh my gosh, there is so much work to be involved in those. It could be kind of a pain in the butt, and then I have like a strict TBR and it's just a mess. I'm loving the quarterly so far, and if you might have noticed, I did sprinkle in some of those books that I need to read from my quarterly word search TBR for July through September. So we're making it work. We're making it work. So I wish you all good luck in the autumn equinox semester. We're going to do great. We're going to pass all our classes. I'm just obsessed with this readathon. I feel like I'm going back to college, but in the most fun way possible, because I'm getting like guild points. I'm like fighting for my guild. I'm having to pass classes by reading books for fun. Like, this is the best school ever. And I don't have to pay for anything, although I really want a crew neck, and I have like a crew neck and a blanket and like a ton of other merch in my cart on Redbubble that I'm just forcing myself not to buy because I just spent a stupid amount of money on a piece of exercise equipment for my workout room because it would just be the last piece that I need. But like, I need to stop spending money. I really truly do. Like, it's a problem. So we're gonna chill on the buying things and just enjoy the things we have, you know? So that is going to be it for this TBR video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope past me was succinct. Like I said, editing me will come in and interrupt if necessary, but that is going to be it. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, comment some magical emojis, like some sparkles, wands, everything in honor of Magical Readathon, which I'm just so hyped about. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video soon.